99.3 Nigeria Info, 7 minutes gone past the 3 o'clock hour, welcoming you to the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itimi and Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. And as usual, this will be your most authentic news experience. You can catch us from anywhere in the world because we're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. And if you do not have the Nigeria Info FM mobile application, go ahead and download it. Yes. You'd see it with the logo NI. Download it. That way you can take us everywhere you go, even when you're on the moon. My name is Maryann Okon. As usual, we start off with the big three stories for today. It's Wednesday, the week done, divide into two. And of course, there's a lot to talk about. The coalition is still front and center of all of the stories that we're looking at. And most importantly, we're allowing you to be the one, being part of the conversation. You tell us what you think about the stories, and as we both try to make sense of it. On the 4 o'clock hour, we're supposed to have a member or a hopeful, a chairmanship hopeful, but unfortunately, I hear they're in court. Unfortunately, we cannot have them. But we're going to be talking about that whole Chinese Ponzi scheme 1-year jail term and what this means to our shared interest of fighting terrorism. And that's for the 4 o'clock hour. On the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking about good governance versus the clamor for 2027. It's going to be a fantastic conversation. You cannot afford to miss it. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Go hook up live to our YouTube and Facebook as we begin the conversation. And you know how we do it. This is how we start.
Get ready for the most important news of the day. It's time for the Big Three Stories on Hard Facts. Tune in to our primetime show for the latest updates and in-depth analysis on the top stories making headlines. From breaking news to in-depth investigations, we bring you the facts you need to know. Join us as we delve into the biggest stories shaping our world today. Tune in to the Big Three every weekday, 3 to 4 p.m. and stay informed with the news that matters the most. Hard Facts, where the truth always comes first.
This is Hard Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM. My name is Shegwa Rinze.
Welcome back. Let's look at the big three stories for today, shall we?
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
on 99.3.
All right, let's start with the story that you and Joyce were conversing about today. I heard the reciprocity conversation. It is one of the big stories for today. Apparently, it's the U.S. government is reducing, because a couple of us have 5 years visa. Some people would be wondering if that's going to affect them. Well, they're saying that if you do have a 5-year visa, it's still status quo until after. But the U.S. has reduced the visa validity for most Nigerian applicants, and they're giving reasons. And this story is from the Premium Times newspaper. I think that Joyce extensively talked about the reason behind this reciprocity. I remember at a time where there was a fee that you had to pay if they had to issue you a visa, if you had scaled through the process and they intended to give you a visa. I can't remember what year that was, but you'd pay like a 75,000 naira inside the embassy, and they called it a reciprocity fee. And when you hear the word reciprocity, it means that someone's doing it. That's why we're doing it back. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander or Uganda. But that's what a reciprocity fee meant at the time. And I think the government of the day at the time moved to stop it, which that also was put to bed. But then here we are again. The U.S. government is telling us that effective today, most non-immigrant and non-immigrant official visas for Nigerian citizens will be single entry with 3 months validity. Now, if you're doing business and you don't want to stay too long, this might not be a problem. if you are holidaying, for me, I don't holiday more than 3 weeks. That's not a problem. I guess where the problem is having to do this every other year that you want to go back to the US, or every other time you want to go back into the US, you have to pay that same money to do that again and again and again. Many would, look at it as the US is also trying to, make some money for the embassy. But then when you place it side by side with what's happening with the Nigerian embassies in other countries, especially in the US, if they're doing the same thing, then it means that, it's an income generating thing. So as you do me, I do you. But I don't know, especially at the time where I'm just speaking for myself, at the time where our country is facing some sort of economic downturn, a double-digit inflation, and not a lot of people are able to pay their way to places like the US in their numbers. Although, every time I travel and I look in the plane, it's full to the brim, no space. You can't even upgrade your seats to start with. And we're complaining there's no money. But you can't afford a $2,000 ticket. A $1,500 ticket. Yes. So yeah. But then we may not be the vast majority of Nigerians. Just a handful of us who can afford it. Now I can't afford it anymore. So I've removed myself from it. I can't. I don't think I can anymore. But I'm just saying, maybe this would reduce the chances of a lot of people doing business in America or beginning to do those businesses virtually or whatever takes you there. You'd begin to reprioritize, because if you're going to have to pay so much every few months to go to the US, you probably have to have a rethink. It has to be very important for you to want to go to the US. And I'm saying this because it really concerns me. But I'm not really bothered, because I go to the US just once a year, just to see family. But then for those who go regularly for some reason or the other, they might be the ones who are really interested in this conversation. And I had some very funny opinions today on Joyce's show, but that's not my business. Anyway, I just want to hear your thoughts on the reduction of the validity of most of these visas. So the US government has announced that those who are applying for non-immigrant visas will now only get single entry visas for 3 months. The US mission in Nigeria said this was to reciprocate Nigeria's visa policy for Americans. I'm going to end it there because Joyce talked about it extensively. That's it. Let's move on to other things. Let's talk about insecurity and terrorism. Apparently, still with the Premium Times newspaper, there's another story here that talks about the fact that militants, the Sahel militants, turn civilian drones into deadly weapons. As armed groups shift away from direct confrontations with military, commercial drones are increasingly used to carry out attacks. Yeah, terror groups are increasingly using new tactics, notably armed suicide or kamikaze drones according to a government statement released following several attacks on sites in western Mali on July 1. The use of commercially available small civilian drones for strikes by terrorists and armed rebel groups is not limited to Mali and has become prevalent throughout the central Sahel. Separatist and terror groups in the region likely draw inspiration from the successful use of drones by regular armies in other conflict zones such as Libya and the Middle East. The weaponization of these civilian drones represents a shift in asymmetric tactics as armed groups circumvent commercial or conventional military, superiority of the region's armed forces. The result is increasingly severe human and structural damage and fear among soldiers. We're not left out of this because over a dozen of kamikaze drones and drone strikes have been reported since February in Burkina Faso. In May, extremist group Jumat Nusrat al-Islam deployed drones in violent assaults on towns in Jibo and Diapaga. in the northeast of Burkina Faso. In Niger, on the 25th of May, the ISIS used kamikaze drones against the army somewhere around the border with Mali, killing 64 soldiers. It's happened all over the place, and Nigeria is not left out of it. But how can we be 10 steps ahead of these guys? Because we have intel. I remember 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, when I had the former DSS deputy director, talking about the fact that we have intel. The DSS generates intel. What we do with that intel is what will help us to deal with these guys. I'm thinking that we should be 10 steps ahead of these guys. If they're using civilian drones, how do we also counteract? I'm not military. I don't work in the Pentagon, but I have an idea. Why are we not 10 steps ahead of these guys? Because, I remember one time when we talked about drones, and someone from the military was saying, "Oh, these are these are toys that they're using," and then we're according them some level of notoriety. But if these toys, as you say, sir, are being used to kill and disarm our soldiers, should we not be concerned and also look for something that's way better to deal with the issue? Am I talking too much? Welcome to Hard Facts. If you're just joining us, it's 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm going to leave it at that and let you make what you want to make of it. Why is it that we keep reporting these things, but nothing is done with the information? As opposed to every day somebody wakes up and says, "Oh, the elites that are involved." Okay, what are we doing to disarm the elite? Oh, nothing? Okay. But then more people keep dying, and our soldiers are being killed and demoralized every single day. What do we do? Away from that, let's talk about the coalition, shall we? Well, 2027 presidency. Mark cautions Atiku and Obi as federal government slams coalition chiefs. Here's what he said. The interim national chairman of the African Democratic Congress, Senator David Mark, in a statement yesterday, said the new coalition had no favorite presidential candidate, amid reports that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former presidential candidate Peter Obi, former Minister of Transport Rotimi Amechi, amongst others, were 4 front runners for the party's ticket for the 2027 election. In a statement released by his media team on Tuesday in Abuja, Mark emphasized that all party members were equal stakeholders. Dumebi Katiku, you remember, the 2023 presidential candidate for ADC, had accused the Mark-led interim leadership of the party of being biased in favor of Atiku already, with growing concerns that the ambitions of the 3 contenders could divide the party. Now, in a swift response, Mark is saying that the party would maintain complete transparency under his leadership. He said, and I quote, please listen, "The ADC has no preferred or favorite presidential aspirant, but has set out to first put out a platform that would be attractive and acceptable to majority of Nigerians. We are doing this because we do not want this great ship called Nigeria to sink, because if we do not rise up now, they will sink all of us." If we take a look at what happened with the PDP just leading up to the primaries, the National Convention in 2022, what led to the now drama called Wiki? What led to the now drama called somewhat ended drama in the PDP, the divisions? It was because there was an agreement to zone 2 a particular place, but that zonal agreement was at some point disregarded, and then the PDP all of a sudden said, "Everybody throw your hats into the ring," and so may the best man with the highest amount of cash win. Could the ADC be making the same mistake that the PDP made leading up to the 2023 elections? Do we never learn? Really? The phone lines are open: 0201-277-0993, 0201-465-7190, 0201 I don't know, is the ladies line working now? If not, just call 0201-277-0993. That works. And you can go on WhatsApp at 080-959-75805. And most importantly, join the conversation on X. Use the hashtag hard facts. I cannot go without giving you this story. The presidency has responded to IMF. Remember the story from the IMF yesterday, where the IMF said that if they must deal with the poverty in the country and bring the economy back on track, there's a lot that needs to be done. They need to raise more revenue. Well, the presidency has blasted IMF over the report on inflation and poverty. Yes. They worry that such statements from IMF can turn the people against government. IMF. They also note that the body's advisory messages often are in conflict with its lending stance. So you'll be talking in one side of your mouth, you still give us money. What do you mean? Guess who's behind the statement? His name starts with B. Let's go, guys. The phone lines are open. Let's talk before we go on a quick break. 0201-277-0993. I'm having a field day today, aren't I? Welcome to Hard Facts. You have 60 seconds. Go straight to the point, please.
Hi, Maryann. Welcome on today's show.
Thank you.
So, on the issue with IMF, don't worry, with time, they will all slug it out, basically. On the issue with this visa issue, see, they've said it already, Maryann. It is log in, log out. It's what we dished out to them, they are dishing back to us, period. And not be by force. If you know if it's cope, make Ukuma stay your country, develop it. But dear the people in this country, the top tiers of at the hem of affairs, they don't have the balls to dare the US. Make them try them now. Maryann, I beg, go your break, Jerry. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for calling. I do appreciate it. We'll go on a quick break, Lagos. When we come back, it's still Hard Facts. 99.3 Nigeria Info FM. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're live. Post your comments there. And on X, use the hashtag Hard Facts. My name is Maryann Okon. We will be right back. Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Facts. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories. You know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Hard Facts with Maryann Okon. We'll be right back.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Charlatan Quality Anti-Malaria contains Artemisa and lumefantrine, available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets with very convenient dosing for kids. Charlatan is also available in tablets for adults. Knock out malaria in 3 days with Charlatan from Shalina Healthcare. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Charlatan is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
This is not just a debate. It's a battle of minds. A clash of brilliance. A war of words, and only one champion. One true champion will rise. The regional champions are ready. The stage is set, the stakes higher than ever before. Catch the I Beg to Differ National Finals live on all Nigeria Info FM and Kids FM stations nationwide. It's intellect, it's passion, it's the future in action. Debate redefined. The IBTD National Tournament begins August 11th, 2025. Only on Nigeria Info FM and Kids FM nationwide. For sponsorship, call 0805-581-5844 or email ibegtodiffer@nigeriainfo.fm. I Beg to Differ, the Tournament of Champions.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
This is Hard Fact with Maryann Okon. This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, this is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itamian Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. My name is Maryann Okon. Welcome to Hard Facts. We're looking at the big three stories plus one. Most importantly, I had to put that there because Maryann Okon never fails to respond to whatever it is. And yesterday we talked about the fact that the IMF had raised concerns about Nigeria's economy. If it must actually come back to life, there are certain things that must be done. While they acknowledge some of the improvements or progress in their words, they think it's not enough, and that it might take a while for it to work. But in the interim, there's certain other things that need to be done to deal with poverty. But then Maryann Okon and of course the presidency does not necessarily agree with that, and that's why they've come up with this, response saying, "Hey, are you trying to turn our people against the government? What is your plan, IMF? Because 1 minute you're giving us money to help our economy, and then 1 minute or the other minute you're trying to beat us down. What's your plan?" Okay, then. I don't know what the ammo of this administration is, because it's a personal opinion. I just wonder, why is it that they spend more time in responding to these things as opposed to responding by acting and doing better? I mean, I don't know. Are they anti-criticism? Should they not be criticized? And this is not just about the IMF. It's about everyone, every and anyone. There is a difference between setting the record straight and saying, well, we understand what you're saying and we're going to do our best, than just saying, why the flipping flip are you talking about? So shut it, please. But anyway, what do I know? I'm just a bloody journalist. Anyway, join the conversation. We're talking 0201 277 0993 0201 465 7190. Here is the ADC making accusations that the APC, the government at the center, is paying people to come in and disrupt their party. Here's a spokesperson of the ADC speaking about this, and this video is cut to your Verizon television. Take a listen.
We know them. In the ADCD, the flag of in the ADCD, the flag of the unveiling of the coalition platform. How did that come?
All right, I'm gonna try to get that video to play. It got a little mixed up. Okay, we're gonna try again.
Know them. But we deliberately left their names out because we have credible intelligence within the government that some senior officials of government invited our party chairman in the Northwest first. Then they followed it with invitation to party chairman from the Northeast. The intention, obviously, is to begin to incite them to foment trouble within the party. And you could see what happened by this morning. Some fictitious individuals have been cranked up from nowhere to go to court, claiming that our appointment as interim executive was not legitimate, was not according to the law of the party, and that we have done what they call a hostile takeover. So it's part of, but it's consistent with the style of this APC government, that what they desire, what they want to see is a Nigeria where no opposition party can survive. They've done it to PDP, they've done it to Labour Party, they've done it to SDP, they've done it to NNDP, and this, ironically, is what has led to the coalition that now presents the only credible alternative to Nigeria. And that is why we are saying that this government need to be careful. They need to understand that democracy is about options. Democracy is about alternatives. When you don't leave people with options, and when you don't leave them with alternatives, then you can't call that democracy anymore. And that's why we reminded them that when President Goodluck Jonathan in 2015, if President Goodluck Jonathan had come out and tried to destroy the opposition completely like they are trying to do, President Bola Tinubu will not be president of Nigeria today and APC will not have come to power. So what we are saying is that in the interest of democracy of this country, they should allow opposition parties to survive. They should allow opposition to breathe. In 2027, they should tell Nigerians why Nigerians should vote for them again. If they convince Nigerians, Nigerians should go and vote for them. If they are not able to convince Nigerians, Nigerians should turn around and see options for them. And that's why we are saying we are very clear. We know what we are saying. We are not just making allegations. We know that their hands are in all the crises in all the opposition's party. And now the same hands are now being poked into the coalition since we emerged to their utter dismay last Wednesday.
0201277093. That's the number to call. 60 seconds is all you have. Go straight to the point, please. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Yeah, actually, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead, please.
The this man in Lagos. Good job.
Chris, you have to call me back. Your line is a little faulty and I can barely hear you, so please call me back. Thank you very much. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good afternoon, Maryann.
Yes, good afternoon.
Emmanuel, I'm speaking to you from Ekwe.
Go ahead, Emmanuel.
I don't know what the military intelligence is doing, if they are not complicit in all of this, because it's obvious that people funding terrorism in Nigeria are not children, and they don't take this thing as child's play. Imagine the resources these guys we have before they can overrun, a military base, killing our soldiers, flying drones, and sophisticated weapons. So this thing goes beyond just Nigeria and beyond buying guns, to fire at them and so on. You need it to gather intelligence, prosecution and arrest of big wigs, in this what some people are going to business. So that is when we begin to get results, because you need deterrence, and then you need to show the strength of your country. So we can't have a country like as big as Nigeria, one of the most powerful military in Africa, and then this is happening to us. The presidency should take note of this. And then for the issue of the coalition,
10 seconds.
It's obvious that the leadership of APC, are in G3. And as time goes on, everything will unfold because some of their governors, according
I have to let you go.
are even talking. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Auntie Maryann, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mr. Ephraim from Ojalaba.
Go ahead.
Okay. For the insecurity in Nigeria, if the names of the sponsors sent to us by the United Arab Emirates is not made public to the Nigerians, we know those people that are cleaners. What about it? If you cut the roots and leave it must germinate. If you uproot it, it will die. Let the names of those sent to us by the United Arab Emirates be mentioned public. Let us know those that are cleaners. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you very much for calling. I do appreciate it. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, good afternoon, Maryann. Peter says my name from Shomolu.
Go ahead, Peter.
IMF that give you money tell you that you are not using the money very well. You say they want to overthrow government. Children protested and say we are hungry. You say they want to overthrow government. Nigerians say we want to go to Ojota and protest. You say you want to overthrow government. Now the coalition come out. And you are not restful. What is the problem of APC? They will go whether they like it or not. That's the question I asked your guest yesterday. Now, how will he deal with this with these Judases that we will find in this party? APC will go because Nigerians are hungry, and we don't want to remain hungry like this forever. They must go and leave us alone. Let them scheme. It's not yet time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Welcome to Hard Facts. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Ferdinand calling from Maryann.
Go ahead, Ferdinand.
About the coalition, like Mr. Chris used to say, we should not bother about APC. I think I called this morning, which day was that? That the baseball that is eating you is under your bed. So all these people that they are defecting to APC, they are going there to destroy the party. But for ADC, look, if they do not give Obi their ticket, presidential ticket, they will lose election woefully. If they dare to give it to Atiku, What happened last time, it will still happen, and they have nothing to do. Because APC, they are there waiting for them to give their ticket to Atiku. But if they give it to Obi, the whole Nigeria will support Obi and win the election. Thank you so much. Oshika.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
This is Mr. Benga.
Go ahead.
From Ikorodu. You are burning my credit. What is there? Maybe you go US, so don't go do business, so or you go there, go still, or you go pastor, basically then pray for you, make it digest it. Now your own one be that. Make it not do at your own country. Our own country, we have to develop it. The way we are doing in this nation, I don't like it at all. That's why I said Nigeria is a talking nation, not a doing nation. They are giving you terrorist sponsors. You did not do anything with it. IMF is directing you about the money they're giving to you. You did it. They are not blaming you now. What are you going to do? You people don't have any intellectual people in this country again that can move this country forward. That's why you to tell Nigerians that all we need looting. All these things we are doing to ourselves. It is God that is going to come and do it for us. And keep on praying to God. Oh. Good afternoon.
All right. Thank you, Wenga, for calling. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Yes, I'm hearing you now. You didn't respond to me. That's the reason why I keep saying hello. I said I'm calling from Abia.
All right. Go ahead,
How
please.
it work?
Good.
Yeah. Today, it's like God has touched you. You have picked my call today. So, back to the conversation. You see? Hello?
I'm listening.
Are you hearing me?
I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Now, you see, everybody can just call him and just talk APC and just call ADC, CC. See, one of the things that is our problem in this country is ignorance. These ignorance have eating to eat our brain away to the extent that we don't longer think for our. Some people does not even have any sense to think for themselves anymore. So someone brings something, say go this way, you follow him and go this way. He brings another thing, go this way, you follow him and go this way. Now look, they brought a new party. Is it party that is our problem in this country? Or woman be our problem in this country?
Okay.
Changing.
I'm sorry, your time is up. You've done. I was waiting for you to land. I'm sorry. No, 60 seconds is all you have. I let you have a minute, 20 seconds. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Yeah, Maryann, I greet you.
Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, please let me say this: the coalition. People should be very careful. If Obi is going to be presented as a presidential candidate, Obi will not vote for himself. Not only followers of Obi that will make Obi to win. This will happen 2023, and I advise people, please, people should be very careful. Blasting Atiku, if Atiku want to contest, Atiku will fool with you. Atiku has never told anyone that I'm contesting under ADC. ADC just formed the coalition.
Well, but the ADC has said that these are frontline runners for the position of the presidency. Okay, and it is in their right. It is in their right to throw the floor open. Okay, because every single person has a right to run for presidency, including you.
Very true, very true. But what I'm trying to say now is that different platforms, even your platform, everybody is just for Atiku. 2023, under PDP, I supported Atiku. But this 2027 coming, Atiku will surprise everybody. Atiku may not contest, but the way people are attacking Atiku can make Obi be president if he asks all his followers to vote for Obi. And if Atiku said, no, I don't want to carry my followers to Obi, I want to contest, he can be the spoiler. So the way people are attacking Atiku is a respected politician, for Christ's sake.
Okay.
So people should be very careful about Atiku.
All right.
Atiku
Thank you,
has never
Babaji.
told anyone.
Thank you very much. So that you avoid repeating yourself. Point taken. Most importantly, I just need us to understand that whether El Rufai wants to run for presidency, he has a right. If Amechi, who has already publicly proclaimed that he wants the office, wants to run for it, it's his prerogative. Now, it's down to all of them to get the number of votes that it takes to win at the primaries. Now, as voters, you decide where you want your vote to go, whether you want it to go to the PDP, whether you want it to go to the APC, whether you want it to go to the ADC, whether you want it to go to the Labour Party, because everyone's going to pull a joker before that election. I am almost certain that they're just playing cards and making sure that the next man doesn't know what the next card is going to be. But we're all, just as the last caller said, maybe we're all stuck on one guy and saying, oh, this guy, like I always say, I care for none of these guys. But if you must make a choice, history has to be your friend. Anyway, let's keep taking your thoughts. In a bit, I will go to our live stream on Facebook and on YouTube. We're live, facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Now, I can't find that video, but there was a video where a politician said if the ADC or the PDP fronts a southern candidate, they may lose the election. But if they actually front a northern candidate, they might win the election. A northern candidate who would do one term and then hand over to the south. I don't know how that works. It's a political calculation for them. So there are too many sides and opinions on this matter. You need to read between the lines before you make a choice. I'll come to the social media part to read some of your messages. In the meantime, we're still on the phone lines. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Miriam.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I am Pastor. I am calling from Agbada.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What will save Nigeria as of today is this coalition. Because I see people that make up this coalition, they are men of noblemen, men of good character. People I can vouch for and say, okay, they've done well in the past.
Really?
Yes,
okay.
I can say that. I can vouch for that. The problem now, the only thing now is that, like the other person said, Obi commanded a great crowd during the 2023 election. If not for Wike, who distorted the election in Rivers State, Wike would have been the president today. And he wants to do the same thing now. He wants to hand over Rivers State and the national capital to APC. And I am very, very sure that those people there who are from Rivers will never allow him to do so.
I'm sorry, I don't understand how Wike is going to hand over a whole FCT with different voters and different opinions. I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. Wike has one vote. He and his friends have one vote each. His friends don't outnumber the people in the FCT. Neither do they outnumber the people in River State.
From your radio station, analysis was made by somebody there how he saw the manipulations in River State. They were changing numbers and everything, which gave Wike that thought. And he said he would do the same thing again. He is a PDP member, but he wants to hand over. We want to win River State and state capital and the national capital for APC.
Okay.
That is exactly what he said it, and you had it.
All right.
So that is
Thank you
exactly
very,
what
thank you very much. I have to let you go just because of time. I need to allow other people to talk, okay? But thank you. Interesting point you've made. This line is very noisy. Hello?
Maryann.
Yes.
Hello? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I retire from Ikoyi.
Go ahead.
Well, I think the coalition is a good thing, and I think it's already getting the APC very jittery. But whether it is Obi they will bring out or anyone else, I think we should wait for their convention. Because I think himself has not really said anything about this presidency in the next election. But we know he might really want to go. But at least let's give them the benefit of that. And who says Peter Obi is a saint? We all just need everybody, all hands on deck for us to rescue this power from APC. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your thoughts. Let me go to WhatsApp. I have 8 minutes on the clock. Let's chop. Ooh. Okay, so someone here says, good afternoon, Maryann. Please, can I have given this number on air before. And if you want the number again, okay, what's your name? Larry. I will try to give you that number again, okay? Just remind me. This one here says, since yesterday, people have been talking about transactions and accounts doing 5 million and over have to be reported to banks. So I don't understand. I'm a little what your first message is, but anyway, your second message, you're saying, so now IMF is APC's opposition. Haba. Thank you very much. Ayo here says, only people benefiting will not see the damage APC and Tinubu has done in the economy. IMF is only saying the obvious. What do you expect from a government that has more special advisors on information than economy? ADC should get it right by not imposing candidates and allowing for free playing ground. And that's what they've said so far, really. That's what they've said. But they just come together. So you need to wait and see things play out, because I think, just like someone said, we're preempting a lot of things. Uche Victor here says, you will see what will happen at their primaries. We will be here to talk about it, and you will see the hypocrisy of our colors. Okay. Andose here says, it always baffles me when I hear callers say, if ADC does not make Obi its presidential flag bearer, Nigerians will not vote for the ADC. Please tell them that Nigeria is not southeast and southwest. Very few people know Obi in the northeast and the northwest, where Atiku is extremely popular. Okay, Andose. Someone here says, if you believe, I believe the only way to remove APC in 2027 is if Obi becomes vice president to a strong Northerner. Many Northerners won't vote Obi as president, so let's not repeat the mistake of 2023 where our votes were split. Sincerely, Felix from VI. Felix, you there's something I've been mulling over. The fact that if we have more of these splinter groups, and I'm using that word loosely, we just have more and more, the votes will keep dividing. And guess who's going to have more votes? Okay. Thank you. This one says, my suggestion is that Obi should join forces with Atiku as VP to be able to wrest power from the APC. Obi alone cannot do it. Akongwe from Mafoloko. Thank you very much. Christopher here says, we Nigerians keep praying for God every time without doing anything right. The Bible says prayer without works is dead. Anikeme, Christopher, thank you for your message. ADC coalition must put our interest first before individual ambition. Else, we're going to fire them back to back. This is Itodo from Lekki. What is your interest? Because what your interest might be different from my interests. Have you ever stopped to think about it? Michael from Saboyaba says, the Atiku factor will always be a serious headache for the ADC. So long he still has an ambition, then the likes of Obi and Amechi will have to queue behind him due to his financial capacity and popularity in the north, where the elections are likely to be won based on previous ones. But most Nigerians, especially the obedient, are against the earlier they sort this out, I'm sure that's what you meant to type, the better. For the IMF, the IMF and the FD, they should both continue fooling themselves at the expense of Nigerians. He says, may God deliver us, Jari. Okay. This one says, asking for the USA to reduce visa time to 3 months. It's very good, but he should be channeled to our government and not to ordinary citizens, because ABC, I'm sure you mean APC government, and I'm sure you mean they are living a luxurious life and squandering our money and putting us into poverty. Please tell President Trump to change it back for Nigerian government to only collect 3 months visa. Well, but you see, that's the thing. what our government is doing in terms of this reciprocity is not affecting Trump, because Trump doesn't need a visa to come to Nigeria. No, he's the president of the free world. Well, it's affecting their citizens. It's the citizens who are coming to our country that are being affected. And that's why whatever is happening is also affecting us, the citizens of Nigeria. Capish? Thank you, Dumpy. This one says, this is low for Peter Obi and the obedient. Obi should by now be convincing Nigerians that he is better than the incumbent president. But since he has fallen into the ADC trap, he is now left with convincing Nigerians that he is the best among characters like Atiku, Amechi, El Rufai, Malami, etc. And this is from Ulumba. This one says, let's see. This one says, dear Maryann, we should build and sustain institutions and structures and not rely on individuals who we think can help Nigeria. We need to have a rethink. Olumak from United Kingdom. Absolutely agree with you. We need to build institutions. But in order for us to build those institutions, we need to deflate those strong men, take the powers and give them back to the institutions. But how do we go about it? Yeah. Okay, someone here says, I'm really pained to see people, especially the youths, canvassing for APC with empty stomach. It's a pity. Ambrose from Apapa. Okay. They have a right to choose whatever they want to choose. I mean, everybody's not going to agree on one person. This one says, good afternoon, Maryann. On insecurity in Nigeria, the UAE list of terrorism sponsors in Nigeria, APC members top that list. Have you seen the list before? Why are you making this kind of allegation? Victor from Ilukbeju, have you seen it? Okay. This one says, please let Nigerians correct this narrative of 8 years for South or North. It is only 4 years that the Constitution permits for a sitting president. We or the press should emphasize it. Elder AA from Ikotu. Your second term is basically conditional on if you do well in your first tenure. But do our leaders consider that? Because you see, let's use the Tinubu administration as a case study. The barely 2 years into it, and then all we're seeing are campaigns. I mean, have you been to Abuja lately? In fact, even on television, I was watching TV. There's a group called GMT or something. They just keep saying, oh, the president has done nail fund. He has done this. We support the president. What are you supporting him for? It's just been 2 years. It's not campaign time. Well, where's INEC? Oh, they're blind. They're having tea. They're having tea. That's why we're asking for strong institutions. But how are we going to do it? We've got to take the power from these strong men and give those powers to the institutions. The question is, how? We'll go on a quick break. It's a 30-second break. And when we come back, I'm taking more of your thoughts and comments. Stay with us. It's still Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
Charlatan Quality Anti-Malaria contains Artemisa and Lumefantrine, available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets with very convenient dosing for kids. Charlatan is also available in tablets for adults. Knock out malaria in 3 days with Charlatan from Shalina Healthcare. If symptoms...
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.